Good afternoon, everybody. I am Andrea Galeota, and I represent Padova Chamber of Commerce, which is one of the partners of our amazing project, InduCCI, or Induci, as you want to pronounce its name. So we are now focusing on the activities and the transnational pilot action we realized in the second thematic project work package. And this is the title of my presentation: Transnational Pilot Action to Link New and Old Economies. This is the situation and the idea where we started from. You see the Central European Interreg program area. We are not in the Central European Interreg program area, as you have heard this morning, but Belgium has really similar condition issues, and we are very glad we found a very experienced partner like Stebo, whom I thank you for also their perfect organization of this final conference, and who from the first moment inspired us with several ideas. Industrial regions, but industrial regions with an industrial past, somehow an industrial present, and hopefully an industrial future. But as we heard this morning, our region have many issues to afford, and regarding the industrial transformation, and also the fact that, as we just heard, sometimes industries change ideas, close the plants, and the region have to reinvent themselves. InduCCI started with the acknowledgement of the transformative power of CCI. CCI that, as we have heard this morning, are a mosaic. It's not only design, it's not only artists, theater, cinema, we have also digital artists and so on. And we decided to focus on these two items, two transnational pilot actions. So we tested innovative measures transnationally to see how we could answer to the ground question of our project. How can we use CCI as leverage to foster the development of traditional industrial regions in Central Europe? One transnational pilot action was testing the attraction, the establishment and promotion of CCI and CCI clusters in industrial regions. The second one was focusing on the cooperation between CCI and companies from other industrial sectors. On the first pilot action, we wanted to set a novel and experimental approach, and in our region we had a complex idea and concept phase, both regionally and internationally, with our partners, and these are the regional test cases that compose the transnational pilot action. I am starting briefly from the local action because here in Belgium our partner Stable tested the test case pull factors for metropolitan CCI in Limburg. So they started with a questionnaire for metropolitan CCI, and after discussion on which are the pull factors that can drive a metropolitan CCI to decide to move to Limburg. And after the questionnaire, they selected 4 CCIs who were hosted here in Limburg and in Korda campus. And in the implementation of the test case, they discovered that the Korda campus is a pull factor as well. And this is important because if we consider what can regions offer to CCI, ecosystem is one important item. CCI need to develop and to grow. CCI showcase, reinforcing CCI cluster to joint presentation and Krach Plus. These are the test cases that are our lead partner and the other German partner developed in the German land Saxony. And as you may guess from the title, the idea was to promote CCI and to help CCI to work with the cities and the region to revitalize empty space and the vacant spaces, and also to provide CCI instruments and relations to become part of the real life of the region. And then our Czech partner realized a feasibility study of a co-working center, so how to create a Korda campus in Czech Republic. And Slovenia and Italy worked instead on an help desk network focusing on the urban and rural environment and dedicated to CCI. What did we learn from this action? So our first answers to the question, how can industrial regions be attractive for CCI? The first answer is that our region should work on their reputation, raise awareness, and communicate that they are open to CCI. If people, for example, in Antwerp or in Brussels, consider Limburg as a mining region and not a CCI region, that is an issue. Politicians should be committed to CCI. CCI relevant infrastructure should be available. For example, a co-working space and high-speed internet, urban services at attractive costs, because CCI and startups have often, when not always, the money issue to solve. CCI relevant networks, also involving institutions, should be in place, active and accessible, providing business support and opportunities. Providing only infrastructure is not enough. This is another important point that our regions and our institution should consider when planning actions to invite CCI in the region. And then the diverse sub-branches of CCI should team up and speak with one voice. So there is also an issue of awareness. The second line, the second transnational pilot action, was instead focused on how to boost the cooperation between CCI and traditional industries. And here as well, we have a set of regional test cases. CCI Factory, here in Belgium. Our Belgian partners provided training courses and seminars for CCI about how to create a business and how to let this business grow. And this action was also implemented with the help of mentors, and this is an important part of the action. So the presence of an experienced creative and cultural entrepreneur who worked as mentor for the newcomers. We had also industrial hackathons in Austria and in Poland, a living lab in Germany, whether in Italy we tested workers' welfare. So we conceived this action during the COVID-19 pandemic period. You know that Italy was one of the first European countries hit by this pandemic situation. So we asked a young designer of the Italian design school based in my city, in Padua, to try and propose innovative solutions to companies, to industrial companies, to organize the spaces and enhance the safety of the workers. Which are the lessons we learned? CCI should carve out the core competences and also carve out how these competencies could benefit industrial companies, also beyond the usual. Bundling of competences from different CCI can help to make an interesting joint offer. Then industry should be also made aware about the added values the CCI can bring in. And we heard it also this morning, the innovative power of design, for example. But also out-of-the-box thinking, design thinking, innovative storytelling, team building, and approach CCI on a level playing field. And then industry should be ready to try out new methods and perspectives, like Living Lab Hackathon, expecting surprise. On the other hand, CCI should be ready to adapt to industrial processes. And we learned also that in this case, it's very important the role of the intermediate organization, somebody who can speak the languages of the CCI and of the industries. So the guidance by some trusted intermediary helps to open up, to convince. And industry should be also involved actively, not only used as a challenge donator. Another good input was that it's important to promote good reference example. This will get the snowball rolling. Do experimental approaches twice. This is also an interesting hint. Second time is already on a more matured level. So don't focus only on one-stop shop or one performers. Timing and location for interaction should be chosen carefully. Dare to go for the unconventional setting because of its liberating character, like the office of the tree we have seen before. And then industry should be ready to try out new methods and perspectives. That's all. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the partners who worked together in this really inspiring project. And now let's listen.
So thank you very much, Andrea, for your presentation, your summary. Today we are here together with two experts. You are experts from my point of view, representing two different areas. We have Miss Catherine Hoffmann, coming from the Saxony, Germany, and he is representing she is managing director of the Industry Association. And then we have Jan Sienkiewicz, that is representing Bielsko-Biała in Poland, sorry, and is proxy of the Regional Development Agency. So thank you very much, first of all, for being with us. May I ask you to shortly introduce yourself, starting from the lady, of course, first.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm the managing director of the Industry Association of Saxony. This is a network of 130 industrial companies in Saxony and universities, the technical universities, and some research institutes. And we started already 8 years ago to have a contact to CCI, and we invited representatives. But maybe this I can call you.
Okay. Thank you very much. But we will have the opportunity to discover much more about your experience with the following discussion. And you, Jan?
Again, my name is Jan Sienkiewicz. I came from Bielsko-Biała, which is south of Poland and close to the Czech and Slovak border. And I am the director of the International Affairs Department. We do international project. We support our city in going abroad and picking up the new technologies, new developments. And it happened that our agency used to be regional. Now it's sub-regional, but the name stayed still. And this is also implementing some problems which I will explain later on. It's like really post-industrial region I represent, and it's all about innovation and just competing the very big production and innovation sectors close.
Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. I would like to come back on one of the key words that Andreas underlined in his presentation, that is concerning the attraction, how to attract cultural and creative industries in your areas. So can we share your experience, your knowledge? What makes one area attractive for cultural and creative industries? Andrea listed some skills, some elements that can be interesting for cultural and creative industry. He talked about reputation, he talked about infrastructure, but considering two different areas, one in Poland, one in Germany, what is, for your experience, the best way or the best ecosystem that can attract cultural and creative industries? Starting from our lady first.
Yes, I think there are various factors. And first of all, an open climate is really advantageous, I think, for creatives. And also the opportunity that they can develop freely. Therefore, you need free places. This we have. We have plenty of free places in Chemnitz, and yes, as Chemnitz is an old industrial city, has lots of old industrial buildings which are unused and which can be made available for creatives on a low threshold base. I think this is really attractive for them. But then also we have also places which are transformed in a professional way, and formerly brownfields, and now there are working industrial companies, but also startups and also companies from CCI together. They have the chance to meet. This can be good for them too. Low costs is really a thing that attract CCI. We have low rents, low costs that we can offer. But I think the most important is functioning networks. You need a network within the CCI, for instance, an organization like Creative Chemnitz who helps them or who supports them, and then short ways to the administration, an open-minded administration like we have heard today already, and also the connection between the networks, because we are a network too. We have the Association of Industry, and we are cooperating with the Creative Chemnitz. We have projects together, and this is important too, I think.
Yeah, it is something. I would like to remind one concept that is coming from Panozzo that talk is this morning, but will complete. He used the word atmosphere. It is important to create something like an atmosphere that is triggering the collaboration, is attracting talented person. So this is something that is really the way to attract culture and creativity in industries. And in your case, according to your experience?
And this is exactly I'm going to talk about our real experience we've faced in our region, which is related to the administration, the change of administrative division in Poland, and that's why we used to be the regional development agency as a region, and then after administrative division has changed, we've become like a not really important sub-regional center, and we face exactly what has happened. So the fall of the industry, the brain drain, heavy brain drain to the Upper Silesia and to Krakow, and the industry, the most innovative industry, has left. So we had to develop something to stay as we used to be considered the city of 100 industries. So innovative, open, creative. But we've lost a lot of talented people due to the proximity of the highly industrialized Upper Silesia and Katowice with almost 3.5 million people, all the universities, research centers and everything. And another big center of Kraków metropolis, also with the biggest universities, the research centers and everything. And we decided to become more competitive. Fortunately, two big players still remain, which is a Fiat company, which used to be there. It's an automotive industry, which is one of the most growing still in our region, and also General Electric. So we, as a development agency, we had to focus, we had to challenge that problem somehow, because city was going in circles, and they didn't know really what to do. And we started to implement, to just bring into our sub-region the newest technology. It happened that we are very, very big and active member of EURADA, which is Association of Development Agency in Brussels. Mm-hmm. So we've got access to the newest technologies, to the newest information, to the newest strategies. So we tried to implement this kind of strategy. And what was most important, it was just to implement that kind of thinking into the regional administration, to the regional officers, to the city mayor, and this kind of thing. So we've started from the strategy. Fortunately, all our regions has implemented the regional innovation strategy, and then the intelligence strategy. So we have focused on a few really important things, and it happened that except of being very attractive environmentally, because we've got mountains, we've got lakes, we've got ski resorts, we've got mountain trails and everything, and the spa resorts, we also have a lot of talented and smart people. And we've discovered that. We started to look for them, and they just appeared. They were not taken out of the head, but we've just worked. We've just implemented few activities just to find out those people, just to make them, motivate them to work.
But this last consideration bring to another kind of a thought that I would like to share with you. The word is collaboration. I mean, if we are working to establish an ecosystem, is to trigger the collaboration between industry and cultural and creative industries, between the so-called old and the so-called new economies. But I was impressed by some picture that I have seen in the reports of the partner, where I have seen creatives that do some installment, some plants inside the factories, the one steering industry, or they build a performing an exhibition inside the company. This is, of course, just one way to collaborate. But from your point of view, and considering your experience, which kind of collaboration should be triggered between the traditional industry and the culture and creative industries? Which kind of collaboration do you have in mind, or have you seen, for example, during the project?
I have a particular
this time
one.
We start from
I have a particular one in mind, which just came out of the all the activities which I've been telling you about. It's we are developing, or started to develop, the digital innovation hub in our region, which is the collaboration platform. We're combining the new inventive ideas with the old or existing industries. I'm not talking old because they are changing also. With the existing industries, this is the platform we combine. We look for the demand, and we provide people with ideas, with technologies, with solutions. And it happens that they are mostly come from creative industries. This is creativity. These are software houses. These are other like marketing companies. These are promotional companies. These are big data companies and technology providers. So we do like this, and I think this is the way to go. And one of our actions, which has been mentioned there, was the industrial hackathon. These are the things we do just to find out, to ask companies which are like looking for the solutions. Let's call them the old sector, the traditional sector. So they are just submitting the needs. They are showing what they need. And we try to organize them a platform and to connect them with the creative sector in the search of the solutions. But the hackathons are one of the possible solutions, I think, and we already organized 2 of them, and they were very, very, very successful.
Thank you.
I can only tell my experience. We were thinking before collaborating, they have to know each other. And so we started 8 years ago to connect them, to let them introduce themselves, to get to know them. This happened in form of short presentations or company tours or at trade fairs. And this was really interesting because our members, our industrial managers, often have been very surprised to realize that the term CCI covers such a broad field, and that it incorporates not only the performing arts, but also the technical sector as software industry and so on. And then we, that is the Creative Chemnitz and the Industry Association, after this getting to know you phase, we started a real project, and this was the Maker Fair of Saxony. this is a festival for tinkerers and inventors. There are lots of creative people who present their technology, and we organize this with the aim to get young people excited about technology, about science, crafts, and so on. And this is a platform to show new forms of collaboration and raise awareness of CCI also. And now we are at the point where we remark that you need a real project on which they can work on together. And so we saw that especially industrial companies are interested in getting young people excited about their technology, but they don't know how. They have no ideas how they can make this. This have to be in a playful way. No? It has. Normally they have to offer attractive solutions, and so now we want to start to let them develop these solutions jointly.
And since 2020, a new word has been fully included in our speeches, that is the COVID-19. Unfortunately, now we have another new word that is war, unfortunately, but we start from the COVID-19. And from your point of view, are we able to turn into benefit what we passed? I mean, if we look at the period 2020-21, where we suffered many restrictions and many changes, from your point of view, is this experience an opportunity for the collaboration with the culture and creative industry, and the collaboration with the industry, because we should not only look at the negative impact of this period, but even to the positive, an opportunity, I use this word. So what is your idea? Is the follow-up of this experience an opportunity to work much better with the culture and creative industry, and in which way, from your point of view?
I would say yes.
Lady first.
Thank you. Yes, I think Corona has definitely increased the willingness to cooperate on both sides, but especially in the field of digitalization, the companies, the industrial companies, due to the absence of trade shows or trade fairs, they were forced to find new solutions for selling their machines, their products, and so they were searching for things, and they were searching the expertise of CCI. And I have seen lots of companies which have visualized their machines for selling them now online and installing them online. And yes, I think CCI, like always, they gave attractive solutions in various fields, also in the communication, and a lot of companies were searching new communication channels because of the home working and so on. Yeah, I think it's there are also advantages of this period.
Yeah, yeah.
And
from your point of view,
I would like to add that this is like a COVID-19 was like the driving force for speed up the process of digitalization within the companies. Something which has started in 17, 18, 19, just really got like a kick with the COVID-19, because the situation changed completely, and the company which had some awareness about the lack of digital technologies, the digital knowledge and digital skills. They just face the problem of the digital era, really. They had to move very fast, and they just switched very smoothly to the digital solutions. They had to improve skills of the personnel. They had to introduce the solutions that allowed them to contact their customers, to just make relations with them, real relations, like asking, looking for their needs and asking for the questions, and to react for they want, because they couldn't meet personally, and they had to develop the solutions that went far beyond they used to do. Like they implemented extended reality solutions for the servicing, different kind of things. They developed and implemented like machine learning solutions, which were like inevitable in that moment. They just needed that, and then just found out the hardest way, because they had to do it fast, they had to do it quick, but they did it. And they moved more to the sensor-like technologies. And we've seen that during our hackathon. I'm talking about this because they just introduced the problems they face, really, not only because lack of the physical meeting with the customers, but also how to manage people within the companies being affected by COVID, not only as a disease, but also with mental and physical and state. So the COVID-19 was, of course, it's a disaster. It's been a disaster. But this also was an opportunity to companies to open eye how necessary it is to dive into the new technologies.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, in the background of your thought, there is one new concept, that is Industry 5.0. I don't know if you, for sure, you heard about that. I mean, probably cultural and creative industries can trigger the human dimension together with the technology. This is something that probably is very, very interesting for us, particularly for our industrial areas and for the skills. Just to close the discussion, there is one sentence that you would like just to leave as a conclusion of these speeches of today. One conclusion from your side as experience of the project and from your side.
There are a lot of things which I could say, but I think, or two things maybe. The first one is we have to offer or produce more and more of these best practice projects to convince traditional industry to cooperate with CCI. I think this is really important. And then I think an added value could be if we could combine the two strengths of the both sides, the changing the perspective and the customer-oriented way of innovations of the CCI, but then also the analytically and logically way of, and maybe more product-oriented way of innovations of the traditional industry. If we could combine this, I think this could be an added value for us.
Okay, thank you. And from your point of view?
It's already happening in, this is what I would like to say, it's already happening in our city, which is that making city more smart and like combining industry with like that creative part of our inhabitants, which are actors, singers, designers, graphical designers, these kind of things. We are just preparing like a common big event, combining all those people for the sake of promotion of our cultural and industrial heritage, with comparison with usage of the art people and art ideas, and this this is an eye-opening event.
Thank you. Thank you. This brings to the new Bauhaus, but it is another thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us your thought. Thank you.